Welcome everybody to Catfish Weekly, sponsored by Whisker Wearer Apparel, along with Chuck Davison. I'm Lyle Stokes, and welcome to the show. Chuck, how's it going tonight?
It's going great. Time's flying. Christmas will be here in a few days. Um, Winter on Blues on Wheeler will be here at the end of next week. I'll be heading out Wednesday, and I'm really excited about that. A little bit yancy, but besides that, just work and sleep.
Yeah, that's for sure. It's time's really flying by, and it looks like it's going to be a great time. Looks like Daniel's going to have a big crowd down there. The weather's going to be great. From what I've seen in the forecast, as far as the place I look, they're still calling for 70-degree weather down your way.
Oh yeah, it's going to be nice. I hope the weather holds out for the tournament. Don't want it too hot. Um, a little bit cool. At least let it seem like fall. And
That's right. Maybe it won't get too bad.
I mean, either it can be blazing hot or just too cold. As long as that wind stays down, I think it'll be a big plus. But being out on that fat water with with even with 5 mile an hour winds, with a steady, it'll start kicking up some pretty good swells. Over the length of that lake. And as long as it stays pretty calm, a lot of the guys are going to want a little bit of wind to, so they can drag around and stuff. So I hope it's, the perfect scenario for everybody to have a great time.
I think that's what everybody's going down there for, just getting to fish the tournament's a bonus. Everybody just wants to get down there and enjoy the time they get down there, and it's the middle of the winter, and everybody's kind of tired of being housed up. Tonight, everybody, Paul Ragsdale has joined us, and we're going to go over some of the stuff for our giveaway next Monday night, and we'll visit with Paul a little bit, and then Chuck and I will get back to the Winter Blues on Wheeler and some of the other current events we got going on right now. How you doing, Paul?
I'm going to live, I think. Been sick a little bit, but okay, I guess, the last few days.
Cool. Hey, what have you been up to since you haven't been on the show for a while?
Oh, a little bit fishing, some different stuff. I've been planting trees from seed and selling those on the side, and a lot of different things. Got me a drone. I've been flying it around, wrecking it into the ceiling and get stuff like that.
Yeah.
Weather's been too bad, but the new law went into effect on the drones. We have 60 days to register them, but I think that really bites, but it's got good video on it, so I've been playing with a lot of different things.
I seen a video you done the other day climbing the TV tower. I'm not sure that's what I want to do.
Well, you know what? 325 pounds at my heaviest, I couldn't do it. And I haven't climbed that tower in, I guess, almost 9 years. And finally got the gumption. I fit in the climbing harness that I had here, an old one. So I zipped up the top of it and had to point the antenna back to St. Louis. So.
Well, I was pretty impressed that you got up there and got down without freezing up. They'd have had to come and got me probably.
Yeah. Things were a little tight going up, I'll say that.
I'm sure of that. Well, you guys we've done the random.org stuff before. And you'd done it, and Chris done it. Everybody kind of got along with it really well. And I thought it'd be nice if you'd come in with us next Monday night, and you can run all the giveaway stuff. And you want to kind of go through stuff with everybody and tell them how we're going to give these prizes away?
Absolutely. I've got a lot of different things that's been gone over. And on the 27th, I'll be coming in with Lyle and Chuck and doing the giveaway, and we'll do everything with random.org if you guys ever want to go check it out. And we usually spin it 2 or 3 times, and whoever comes out on top ends up winning. Now, you're only going to be allowed one win on this whole giveaway. So if you win any particular prize, your name comes out of the barrel, and I believe that you stipulated it in each, Lyle.
What's that?
I said you did stipulate that they come out.
Yes. If the first giveaway will be a T-shirt, one T-shirt and one sweatshirt from Aaron Wheatley and Monsters on the Ohio, and if you win that, then your name comes out of the pool for somebody else, because that way we get several winners, and one person doesn't win everything.
Okay, that's what I thought you did. On the Monsters on the Ohio and Aaron Wheatley, is going to be one T-shirt and one sweatshirt, and they have another T-shirt and sweatshirt. There's two there. From Whisker Wear Apparel, it's going to be one bat mask, and then see, we got one hoodie and one koozie, and then we got another hoodie and koozie. And then from Black Horse Customer Odds, Lyle is a Catfish Weekly edition rod, which I'm sure everybody would like to get their hands on one of those. And like I said, we're going to do that on the 27th. I don't know if we're going to do it before or after. I haven't talked to Lyle about that, whether it's going to be at the first of the show or last of the show or during, but I'm sure he can fill you in on that.
Yeah, we'll just start the show and whatever current events that we got to do, we'll do that, and then we'll go right into the giveaway. It won't be a really long show. Everybody will be full from Christmas dinner and stuff. Still got you, Paul? We might have lost him.
I think it froze up.
Oh, there you go.
And that's all I had on that, Lyle, unless there was something else I forgot.
There is. We got a guided trip with Chris Jones and Catfish Pursuit Guide Service on Lake the Ozarks to some guy, some lucky person that would happen to win that. That'll be a really, really good trip. And Chris was on the show with us last week, and he said that would be for two people, but if you had a couple of kids or you wanted to extend it out to 3 or even 4 people, that he would be glad to accommodate that. And he just can't beat a deal like that. Chris is a really good guy. He puts a ton of fish in the boat. He knows where they're at. He's got the best bait. He's got a great boat. He's got everything you need, and he's a really good guy. So somebody win that trip, that'd be outstanding. Outstanding trip. I'd like to have it myself.
Oh, that was my fault. I had that wrote down, but I don't have my glasses on either. So
are you saying you're blind in one eye and just can't see out the other?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I think there's already 28 registered so far. Is that right?
28 or 30, something like that. And then we had another one. Randall McDaniel just got in a few minutes ago. So it's growing, but the odds of winning some of this stuff is a lot greater than buying lottery tickets.
Yeah, at least if you're in the state of Illinois, you might not get paid. So.
Well, we just tried to thank everybody for what we do, and we've got some of the best sponsors in the world. I mean, Chris has come on and jumped on board with that with us, and that's a great giveaway. And of course, Aaron Wheatley jumping in there with the T-shirts and sweatshirts from Monsters on the Ohio, and they are a really quality piece. And our old buddy Rob Clodfelder with Whisker Wear Apparel, he's got some of the greatest T-shirts and hoodies. Them hoodies are just amazing. I love them. And that bat mask, anybody that wins that don't want it, just let me know. I'll be glad to take it off your head. It keeps the wind off of you, the water out of your eyes. On them cold days, you are going to love it.
And you can't beat it. I mean, it's free.
Well, it's just quality product on top of it, but being free, that makes it. Nothing wrong with that.
I got me one last year, a couple of days before winter blues, and it was a lifesaver. I love that bat mask. Every time I get out in the cold weather now, I mean, I'd much rather have that on than one of those save faces or a toboggan. I don't have any. I don't get any wind burn on my face, on my neck, or anything. It's great. You
Yep.
got two different lens comes with it. You got a smoke lens and the amber lens, and you can put that amber lens on, at safe light in the morning, and it brightens everything up, and it does really well early in the morning.
Yep, they're pretty special. I just I'm supposed to try to get one get with Rob and get one, and I'm going to try it because Cindy won't let me try the one that she's got. It just won't let me have it, and I don't blame her. Uh, the only thing that I can see, uh, I get so hot. I have to watch what I wear, and I'm not sure. I should have tried that thing on last week to see if my glasses would fit up underneath it. I bet they would. And if they will, that'll just be the cat's meow. I mean,
Yeah, they
uh,
do. I actually seen John Harden put some pictures on his Facebook page last year when I was asking him about the fitting, and I believe he had his on under his mask.
awesome, awesome. Well, that'll be a great deal for a glasses wearer like myself. And I know that I don't have that big of an issue when I'm in the boat or driving down the road as much as I do up close. But then again, if you don't have to take them off, that's just a bonus to that. So I'm excited about getting one and trying it. So, all you guys got to do now, if you want in on this giveaway, is just go to the Catfish Weekly Facebook page and say thank you to the sponsors. There's already several people that have done that, and you can take their post and copy it and paste it on there and under your name, and we'll enter you in there. And if by all means, if we have missed somebody's name, please let us know, because we was all supposed to post them in one spot, and somehow they got spread around in two or three places, and that's okay, but I don't want to miss anybody that's supposed to be in the drawing. So make sure that we have your name on the list before next Monday night. Be sure and check the list and make sure your name's on there and that you have made the post, and we'll get it corrected if we've missed you somehow, because we sure don't want to do that. And then Paul's going to come on, and he's going to give all this stuff away, and we're going to be ho-ho-hoing right on down the road to Wheeler Lake in Alabama. So, with that being said, what else we got tonight, Chuck? Paul, was you going to stay on the show with us, or are you
Kind of
done
hang
for
around
you?
with us for a little while. I ain't got nothing to do right now.
Awesome. We'll just hang out there, and then if we got something that you're interested in, just give us a shout.
That'll do.
All right, man. What's up tonight, Chuck?
Not a lot. I was wanting to touch on the Catfish Conference on February 27th. Uh, the Facebook page is, it's got multiple hotel rooms been listed on there that's going to host. Um, it's in Versailles, Kentucky. It's on February 27th. Jeff Jones Marine and Monster Rod Holders is putting it on, and it's going to be excellent. So any of you guys that have sponsors that don't know about this and they're just getting into catfishing, or if you're getting into some kind of product or a service yourself, line up a booth and get down there and put your stuff out there for everybody to see. It's going to be a good time to go around and get your hands on a bunch of the stuff that you can only get on the internet. And if you're like me, you're not going to buy anything until you can get hands on, actually see them, see how they do. Unless it's hooks or something that's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. But I've had bad experiences about buying some reels and some other stuff that I wasn't able to check out prior. And this was new stuff, not used. So I'm making an effort to make sure I get hands on everything I buy from now on. If I have to drive and see it at the store and I'm getting a better deal on the internet, I still go see it at the store first and make sure that I'm getting what it's expected.
Well,
You got
and
anything?
another thing about that, Chuck, that is a really cool deal. We also um, um, it's free. I lost my train of thought there but it doesn't cost you anything to get in this place. You can go down
No.
there and see all this stuff. You know, a lot of these shows and things that we all go to, there's a charge for people to set up. There's a charge for this and a charge for that. And down there, it's not cost anybody anything. They're donating their spaces. They're donating their thing. It doesn't cost anything to get in. I mean, you cannot beat a deal like that. You can go down there and I understand that just about everybody that's in the catfishing industry is going to be there that amounts to anything at all.
Yeah, I've seen names I've never even heard of coming. So, I mean, guide services, trails, rod manufacturers, um, tackle suppliers, rod holder makers, everything you can think of is going to be there to show their stuff. So,
Yeah, it's going to be a great time. I can't imagine anybody, unless people had already got plans made for that weekend or the weather's bad. I can't imagine anybody not making it. It'll be after Christmas, and everybody's going to be wanting to get out and look around, and won't be any tournaments to mount anything going on. So it'll be a good time.
yeah, it's going to be great. And, it's going to be another get together where everybody gets to see each other and some good seminars. There's going to be some, good people giving out some good information. And I hope Lyle gives me enough time to go check some of them out, um, and he don't work me to death while I'm up there.
Oh, come
But
on, man.
it's going to be great, and from the looks of it, there's going to be a lot of guys pulling their boats and doing a little bit of fishing. I don't know what day they're going to stand it on Sunday or whatever, but I don't know if I'll be in that situation. But it'd be good to get out and do some fishing anytime you get out with all these guys.
Well, what Steve was saying, there's a pretty good lake down there with a real healthy supply of blue cats in it. It'd be a good time.
Yeah. Yeah, before it's said and done, there'll be a few guys getting together and money being thrown in the hat. I guarantee you, because of where
Oh, yeah, that kind of stuff goes on a lot anyhow, so
yeah, it'll be fun.
that's pretty cool.
Okay, have you got anything else to touch on the Catfish Conference?
No, just that I think that if you get a chance, you need to make sure you show up down there, and it'll be a good time. It'll be fun. You're going to get everybody in there that's been tied up all winter, and everybody be full of crapola, and it'll just be a bullshooting session, and we'll just have a good time.
Oh yeah, Tony Caton, he put about the Zach Royce back-to-back state records on
You locked up
kind
on
of
us,
break
Chuck.
today. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I got you down.
Yeah, Tony Caton put on chat about Zach Royce's back-to-back state records in North Carolina. There was an 89-pound record from 2006, so it was 9 years old. Yesterday, Zach Royce busted a 91-pounder, stayed with it, kept it alive all night because DNR didn't want to show up on Sunday, so he had to wait for him to show up this morning and had it checked, and it registered and made the new North Carolina record by 2 pounds. Then he decided to go back out fishing, caught a 105, and got it certified today. So he busted back-to-back state records. Um, Congratulations, Zach, and that's awesome. I believe he's pro staff for um, you know cat fever rods. Um, So I don't know. Some people they're eligible for the bounty or whatever. They've got a $10,000 bounty out for a state record, so he may be eligible for it. Some of the places don't, leave their pro staff out. Some guys know, they're not included in stuff like that. So I don't know if he's going to be in on the $10,000 or not. But
I can't imagine not.
yeah, I don't either. And somebody said that he gets another 5,000 for wearing the Big Cat Fever apparel, clothing, or hoodie or whatever he had on, which he's always supporting these guys. And All of his photos is just supporting the guys that he believes in and that that's out there helping him out. So yeah, congratulations, Zach. That was awesome on getting these things certified, getting them back in the water, swimming. Yes, and Tony Caton, he verified. Yes, he will be getting $15,000 for the state record. Um, if he would have caught that 89 this week and got the 10,000, and then caught the 105 this next week, he wouldn't have been eligible because you can't do it twice within a year, I believe. But he didn't even have a chance to get paid for the first one yet, and then caught the 105, which if the record's been standing since 2006 at 89 pounds, that's going to looks like that 16 pounds is going to hold for a while. So congratulations again, Zach, on the great weekend you had, and I know you spent a lot of time on the water, and you deserve it, man. You got anything, Lyle?
No, that's pretty good to get two fish like that back to back. And if I was betting, and I haven't talked to anybody out there, but I would bet that he went to the same area because usually those big fish they travel in pairs or two or three at a time, and I'll bet he went back to the same spot and caught that other one.
I would have done the same thing because I know they do exactly the same thing in the winter months.
Yep,
Them big ones like hanging around together because they're so big, nothing else wants to hang out with them. So,
that's for sure.
yeah, if it's some of these aquarium videos I've seen where these flatheads um, in these aquariums are eating fish the same size they are, um, a big 100-pound blue cat could probably scare the crap out of anything 50 pounds. So, I don't see anything else hanging out with him any smaller than that. So I'm sure he went back to the same spot and probably got on it pretty close.
I'd say
I'd
so.
have been
That's you know,
I'd have been right back at the same hump or trench or whatever.
yeah.
Um, I'd
You
have been
know,
sitting.
I've got a story about a couple of years ago we was in a tournament up in Quincy, Illinois, and we put a fish in a boat or two, and we pulled in a creek actually behind another fisherman, and they went on up in the creek, or maybe we pulled in at first and they went around us or whatever. But we had the side imaging on, and I marked two fish, a decent fish, next to a brush pile in this creek. When we went up in this creek, and we just stopped, and I threw two baits right over there by that creek, and water was up, and there was some current coming out of the creek, and boom. 28-pound flathead right off the bat, and I throwed right back in there with another piece of bait and had the other on, and it got off, but it never did come back. But I had the opportunity to catch both of those fish right there within 5 minutes, and I didn't stick the second one. It was on, but it didn't stay on. So I believe that they travel in pairs, and I think that 5-pound fish will travel together, and I think 100-pound fish will travel together. And that doesn't mean you won't catch a 15 where there's a 50, but uh, they just normally don't hang out like that in my way I fish. I never seen too many of them together like that. It's usually big fish or medium fish or little fish. That's just kind of the way it works.
Yeah, flatheads have been, they run. I believe they're pack hunters, and you know, we've had six rods out before, set in a place for 30, 45 minutes, not got a bite, and all of a sudden every rod in the boat go down at once. And all the flatheads between, 8 and 15 pounds. And, a few of them may look like triplets. So
Flatheads are like a pack of wolves, man.
they
If
are
one
that
of them
way.
gets on a bluegill and there's more than one bluegill in there, they're all in there trying to get the last one.
Yeah. I mean, as they get bigger, I don't believe they pack hunt as much.
No.
Um, but I mean, we did during a tournament. Me and Turner, we got a couple of big bites at the exact same time that they had to have been two big flatheads. So they do still team up, run in pairs and stuff. But we got one in the boat, and the other one, took a rod down better than the one we got in the boat. So they were 40-pounders running together, or at least. So
Yep.
I know they do, especially in the spring. It's very
Yeah.
exciting when that happens.
if I mark a couple of big fish down there at Wheeler, I'm going to be trying to get both of them. If you put one big one in the boat, chances that other than being tiny is pretty slim, really.
Oh yeah.
Might as well sit there and pound him. That's what spot lock's for.
Yeah, just I hope I can get them to bite. I hate when they're down there and you can't get them to bite, and you can. I've sat on them all day, and know they're down there, and if you leave, somebody's gonna. Because a lot of these places you set up on is a nice obvious hump, right at the intersection of another river channel coming in the main channel or something where it's and if you leave that spot, somebody's sitting there waiting on you to leave. And they know there's fish there too. And you sit there all day and throw everything in the boat at them, and you can't get them to bite. And they're down there. And I mean,
and that next guy might come in there and set up just a little bit different than you and snag one of them.
Oh, yeah. And most of the times when I come in skunked, it's that same scenario. I know they're down there. I've marked them. Pre-fishing, I get back, see them again. I know they're down there, and other people do know about the spots. I'll get on that spot and throw everything I got at them and come in skunked. Just too stubborn to leave because I know they're down there. But if they're not hungry, they're not hungry. But you got that chance.
When you get a chance like that, Chuck, do you try to switch up your bait presentation to them at all?
Oh yeah, I'll sit there and we've sat on them, and I've just bounced straight up and down on them, But the day before, we might have pulled up on that same spot, and as the bait was dropping and not even hit the bottom yet, they grab it and bend the pole up under the boat, and then the next day you just bouncing it in front of their face, and they will not hit.
Right.
Yeah, and you actually never even hooked him. Because we didn't catch a big fish in this spot. We just know they were down there because we got a big takedown. Mm-hmm. But they were still there the next day. But couldn't get them to bite the next day, and the day before the first pole drop, before the bait even hit the bottom, he was on.
I believe that if you find a spot like that and there's good fish in it, and you've sat there a while and you're not getting hit, I believe that you should upsize your bait or downsize your bait, or try a different rig. Tie 2 pieces of bait to the rig, one above the other. Do something. Float it up off the bottom a little bit. Keep changing it up until you irritate them enough that they'll bite it.
Yeah. Well, a lot of times you've probably done something already. Well, you can drop a 8-ounce sinker in the bottom of aluminum boat. And, every fish in the river channel knows you're close by.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that would stop them from feeding or not. I know flatheads are very, very spooked by anything like that. I'm a true believer in that noise discipline. And I do believe it affects blue cats a lot, especially, sound and shadow. I've actually fished humps before and spotlighted straight down on them. Bluebird Sky Day, and couldn't straight down, I guess, because of the shadow. But I've done that before and changed my bite by getting my boat from on top of them and just pull on up and then do more of a precision anchor on them, and got them to bite that way.
Well, like I say, I think that a lot of us get drug into the same old rut, and we don't want to try new things or try to change things. I know I'm bad about that, but if you can't get them bit, there's a reason. There's something about your bait presentation or what you're doing that they don't like, and I think that if it goes without saying that if you can get that fish to bite, if you can get it on, your chances of getting it in is pretty good. So you might as well sit there. If you're there, try to get it in a boat, and if not, you have to be able to find that quality of fish to replace it. So But then again, I don't like to spend just a long period of time working a fish either. If it's not going to go, I want to get on one that is.
That's right. And that's that's the big thing. You're sitting there excited, and there's big fish in the spot, and you can barely sleep the night before, and you get there first the next day, and you don't want to leave that spot. It can be really bad, and especially after you throw everything in the boat. You just I've been disciplined enough lately where I've just after a couple hours of sitting on it, I just up and leave and maybe come back and get on it early afternoon. Try it again, see if they're feeding at a different time.
Yeah, because they probably won't be very far.
No.
Major Brown sent a thing on the chat, and he wants to know, is it better to hook a bluegill in the back or in the tail? My preferred spot is right at the back of the dorsal fin, but I have hooked them in the tail too, especially if they're larger ones, because they move around and they'll stir up some stuff, and when you fish it close to structure.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Back right behind the dorsal fin, unless the current's strong.
You must be having some
That
weather down there.
Yeah, we got bad clouds.
Yeah.
I'll hook them in the mouth if there's heavy current, so they won't back plow into the current. Where the current's going in their gills backwards. I'll make sure I hook them in the mouth where the current pulls them around, where the water's coming straight at them. They seem to live a little bit longer that way, and kind of swim, with the current. Even if they do get weak, they still stay in a swimming pattern. But it seems like if I hook one in the tail with heavier current, it don't last as long.
Right. I've had that happen too, and they don't last as long that way, but they're pretty hardy fish. Bluegills are pretty tough, kind of like bullheads. They'll last a long time in certain conditions, and they do a lot better than some of the other stuff we try to use for bait. Shad and stuff like that's really hard for me to keep alive, to try to use alive, but it can be done.
Right. I have a better hookup ratio when I hook them in the tail than behind the dorsal fin, than I do in the mouth. And I just think it's the way that the flatheads feed. They always feed head first, and I believe when they go to feed head first, when they get back there on that tail, that hook, the way the hook has plenty of clearance, from the point. The bait keeper, is pretty much empty when that's facing the fin, the rear fin, and it just seems like there's more hook there for them to get snagged on. But when I hook them in the mouth, and even in heavier current, for some reason they hit it head first, and I don't know what it does, but it seems like it spins the hook the wrong way or something, and it just don't want to find the corner of the mouth right.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And, one of the favorite things that I like to watch on the internet, and I think all of us spend way too much time on it, but they have some really cool videos of flatheads and different catfish eating bait in aquariums. And I'm telling you, I enjoy those so much when them fish will take a fish over half their size, and in just a matter of seconds, it's gone. I mean, they done sucked her up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they'll. I've seen some good videos lately on them flatheads, on them aquariums. I searched one night and watched a few of them, and there was some very good videos on YouTube of that.
Yep, I enjoy it very much. That one that guy had on there the other day, where that thing ate that carp, was nearly as big as he was.
Oh, yeah.
That just blowed my mind. Chuck, what are we going to do for bait when we get to Wheeler?
Better hope we can find some.
Well, I haven't.
If you find the right spots, people are catching 10 of them in a couple of hours, so they're not totally where you're not going to be able to find bait. You might have to work really hard for it. The big gizzard shad shouldn't be very hard to find, and they're going to be a really good bait also. Uh, During the wintertime, the big gizzard shads really work really well, especially if you're a big fan of using different scents in the scent trail, which I do. I like to mix my scent trail up a little bit and use different cuts. But the skipjack shouldn't be too hard. Just give yourself plenty of time to find some when you come down if you want fresh bait.
What about the weather? Have you got any reports? The best I can do is like 10 days out. I can't get anything longer range than that. I didn't know if you had access to anything longer than that or not.
Man, the guys don't even know what's going to happen tomorrow. I mean, we've got now they're saying we've got the worst weather coming through this coming Wednesday. We're supposed to have tornadoes, all kind of stuff. They're telling everybody get your weather radio ready. That Wednesday's going to be a very bad day. Up around Saturday, this wasn't even predicted. 2 days ago. So
Yeah.
There's a little bit of rain in the forecast. Now all of a sudden, it's going to be bad storm. So I mean, they might come close with the weather pattern for the temperatures and stuff, but they never know when one of them fronts are going to push in from the west, or something's going to change. I mean, it just
last I knew they was still calling for 70-degree weather through the weekend, so
yeah,
that's not too bad.
Yeah, but sometimes you just don't like what comes with that 70-degree weather.
That's exactly right.
I mean, it could be high winds, or it could be the worst of all, bluebird sky days. I can't catch fish one in bluebird sky days.
Have you everything set up for the church or wherever for the meeting before the tournament and all that's good to go? Everything's set. I think Daniel just about got it all handled, did he?
Yeah, everything's good. The church is set up. I hope everybody comes by and takes advantage of this service and donate some good money to this church, because they're going way out of the way for us. And the better we treat these cities when they host these things, the more they're going to want us to come back. And these tourism boards are going to put more up, which makes our payouts higher. And it's going to be a win-off for everybody. I mean, last year, with just 37 boats, this one gas station said he's never sold out of gas this time of year, ever. And he's sitting there trying to get a gas truck down to fill his tanks up at his station because he didn't have no more fuel.
Yeah.
So, I mean, these guys are loving it. Running out of fuel at your store is a good thing.
Well, it is,
It's good business. So, you hate to turn people around, but that, next year to be looking out for it and be ready.
Yep.
So, the city of Rogersville and the surroundings, they're ready to host us, and they're ready for what's to come. So
I talked to somebody today or yesterday or sometime, and they had just called down to get a cabin. And my understanding was they told me there was one or two cabins left that was still available as of that time. I had heard before that they was sold out. So, if there's one or two left, that would be worth checking into as somebody that's making a trip down there.
Yeah, well, we got a room this morning at the Economy Inn or whatever it is in Rogersville. We got the last bottom room. So I don't know how many upstairs are left, but there's no more bottom rooms left. But $55 a night for a double bed. You have 3 or 4 people go in on that piece a night. 2 nights, $25 a piece. I mean, it's just going to be such an affordable tournament to go to. The cabins are a little bit higher, but they accommodate so many. You could put 8 people in one, no problem.
John is heading down before we do, because we'll be staying and doing our show Monday night, and then we'll take off either Tuesday or Wednesday. But he's going down with one of the Dooley boys, and they're taking a friend of theirs down. So there's 3 right there, and we got a 2-bedroom deal, and 1 bedroom has 2 twin beds, and the other one has a full bed. So Cindy and I'll take that, and then they'll split that up amongst them guys, and the other guys sleep on a couch. So it's a win-win-win. You separate that out amongst a few guys, or a few couples, or however you want to do it, and it makes it very affordable. And those cabins have got everything in it. All you got to do is take your food. The heat's in there. Of course, that's with any place, but they have cooking facilities, the pots and pans, forks, knives, spoons, refrigerators, microwaves, coffee pots. All you got to do is bring your stuff, and you're right at home.
Oh yeah. I just got to find out where we're going to spend New Year's Eve and watch this Alabama Michigan State game. Yeah, I have a feeling that I'm going to be tired and want to sit in the room and do it. But being New Year's Eve, I want to get out for a little while.
I'm guessing that Vince Nagowski will be looking for you to watch that Alabama game.
Yeah, probably so.
He'll probably want to sit right beside you, and he'll be cheering on those Tide boys.
Yeah, he's a big Row Tider.
But I know that Vince is a big fan of Alabama, so I'm sure that he needs to have a chair right there with you, and you guys will have a blast, and the rest of us will be out there watching you two go at each other about that.
Yeah.
Do you have a number on how many boats are now entered in that tournament, Chuck?
I sure don't.
Well, it's got to be it's over 30, I know.
Yeah, that's how many's paid. People still waiting to see how the weather's going to do, and so it's going to be a good turnout.
Yeah, I can't imagine there being less than 50, and I would say more than that.
Yeah, it's going to be 50 or more.
Yeah, I just can't imagine it. You remember how many was there last year?
I don't know. There was like 90 participants, but like 37 boats. So, because there was 3 people in boats mostly, and I think it ended up being 37, if I'm not wrong.
Well, now, I do know for a fact that Jason Malone is heading down there with his wife, and Heath can't go. And, that's funny right there.
He's not going?
No, Heath can't go. He's got Christmas parties to go to and stuff that they planned ahead of time. So Jason gets to go, but Heath don't get to go. And Claude Reynolds now gets to go where he thought he was going to have to work, and him and Ryan are getting to go, and they didn't think they was going to go. So I guess that'll make up the slack where he's not going to be able to be there. You got to have some of them guys down there. You just got to have. It's going to be a shame that he's not there, but if we're running low on BS, I'm sure Claude can pump us back up full because he'll be wound up.
Yep.
But I don't know. Have a whole lot tonight other than what Paul had. Have you got anything that's really killer we need to discuss? We talked about the big fish being caught.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit more about that.
Okay.
These guys, when you get these sponsors, I get, Zach and, Caleb Page and Tony and all them, they've probably known each other for a while, and Zach's a perfect guy to push their product out there. I would want him on, as one of my pro staff. And this guy did all this work. He's been supporting their brand, using their rods, representing them very well. It paid off for him. He is getting this $15,000 because of wearing the apparel and using their rods, even though he is considered a pro staff. So guys, when you get out there and these guys start, sending you shirts, they may be just starting off, and you start supporting their product. They're doing everybody right. Um, and they start seeing your shirts when you're in pictures on when you post on your Facebook page and stuff. But I feel when you start, these are the sponsors and the guys that's going to help you out. That's more or less all the guys that helped me out was because I just started using their stuff and I just buying their shirts, um, buying their rods, buying their tackle. And when it was time for me to start tournament fishing, I asked them, "Hey man, y'all want to help me out and support me? Yeah, you support us, we'll support you." And then that's how it goes. And this guy has really done great things. He's got 2 state records. A triple digit is one of them, which is his dream. Catching the state record's his dream. Got 15 grand to top it off because he was doing what he believed in anyway. If he caught them fish or not, he was going to be using those rods and he was going to be wearing these guys' shirts that he believes in and he supports. And that's how, this industry is going to get going strong, is supporting all these guys out here that's doing all these different merchandise, all this gear. These guys that are trying to do it, the American way. Um, support these guys. Some of these guys are doing it by hand in their garages. It don't matter if they're manufacturing boats, if they're, um, you know, changing your boat up, doing fab on your boat, putting pods on it, building you a live well. Get support these fab shops and stuff because they'll get more business with more catfish boats. These guys will be buying cheaper boats, having them built how they want them. Um, you know, and it's just one big circle. So,
That's correct.
support the guys that are out here, busting their tails and trying to get something going. And good
It's a,
things can be in it for you.
it's a really good thing to support people that support our sport. A lot of people don't understand that and don't look at it that way. But you can go to Walmart. You don't see Walmart very very rarely will you see a Walmart that sponsors a catfish tournament. But I know that they do. I mean, you can go to these companies like that and get gift cards, and they will donate them to them. A lot of the local events that we attend, they'll give away gas cards from local gas stations, and even if we don't have a gas card from them, I will buy our fuel from those places because they support the sport. And that's the way it has to work for our sport to grow and get better all the time. And it's a wonderful thing to see guys like that. We've got people that's been in the tackle industry for years. Dave Ashby and some of them guys have been doing this a long time. And I know Dave sells a lot of catfish tackle. I don't know that he sells a lot of any other kind of tackle, but he sells a lot of catfish tackle. My buddy up at Columbia, he does the same thing. Adam at Tombstone Tackle, he sells a lot of catfish tackle. He's got a lot of other stuff in his store, but he sells a lot of catfish tackle. Those guys, you got to support those guys. If they don't get the support from the people that use the products, pretty soon they're not going to be in that product. They'll be selling something else they can make money on. It's just the way it is. And the line companies, the rod companies, you got to support the companies that are backing the sport, or it will surely never make it.
That's it. That's all I've got tonight, Lyle. Just the tournament coming up next week. We're going to be giving our having our giveaway next Monday night. Um, we're trying to get maybe a certain speaker on the show if that works out. If not, we'll just do the giveaway and
Yeah, it won't be too long of a show. Next Monday night, everybody be full from Christmas, and we'll get on there. We'll do the giveaway and see if we got any last-minute updates before everybody takes off to Wheeler Lake. And I think there's going to be some that leave and go down Sunday. I know there's some Iowa boys that's talking about leaving Sunday. There's several guys in Missouri that's leaving and going down Sunday, some Monday, some Tuesday. So that place will fill up down there pretty quick, and it's going to be a great time.
right. I wonder if Zach Royce had that Mustad hook $1 million thing in his boat. That Mustad hook, they're giving away $1 million for a record if you're using their hooks or something.
I
I
don't know.
think it's Mustad, isn't it? One of them hook companies had $1 million.
I think it was Mustad. I've got some of their hooks. I didn't get along with them real well, but they work fine. They're good hooks. They really are. I have preferences, and I can try something unless I really am impressed with it. I go right back to my Eagle Claws. I love them.
Yeah,
But
I mean that's how these companies do. Just like Big Cat Fever and Mustad, putting this big money up, buying the contest insurance, and
man,
putting
wouldn't that be
money out
something if
there.
he won that $1 million? That'd be awesome.
Yeah, 15,000 plus $1 million, he would have.
We could give the 15,000 back to them guys.
Yeah,
No.
if he won $1 million, he'd probably get about 500,000 of it. So he'd have to use part of this 15,000 to pay his taxes.
Yeah, probably so, but that'd be okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
When you showing up down there, Chuck?
Sometime Wednesday evening.
Wednesday evening.
Yeah,
We haven't decided yet
we
if
got
we're
room Wednesday night. Get up early, start fishing.
Major Brown wants to know where you can find some reclaimed shot for the Larry Muse rig. I do not know. I've got tons of shot. I used to be a registered trap shooter, and I loaded all my own stuff. And I've got bags and bags of shot. Shots got high, but it doesn't take very much to make those rigs, Major. I wouldn't recommend cutting shotgun shells open to rob the thing out of there, but find somebody that reloads and just go over and get a few pounds of it. It doesn't take very much to fill them tubes up, I promise you.
Yeah, you only want to put about 2 or 3 ounces in each tube.
Yep.
And then the air holds the front end up. So I just it won't look like as much as in there.
I think Larry told us on the show that night 4 ounces is what he's using in his.
Yeah.
Isn't that what he said?
Yeah.
And I actually made some up, and I varied it with different ones and different lengths. I made some short ones and some long ones, and haven't had a chance to use them yet, but we're going to do that. We're going to do that. How much structure is that? Wheeler ought to be a great place to try them things.
Yeah, it's it's one of them places that if you can just slide over that small little stuff on the bottom without getting hung, and I think that's exactly what it's going to take is something like that. People that's dragging those pencil weights and stuff, when you're dragging up and down the ledges, sometimes you have some trouble, and everywhere is going to have, submerged little log pile here and there on the bottom, little structure pile here and there. And of course, when you hit it with regular pencil lead or a bank sinker or something, if you're dragging, you're going to hang up, especially if you offset your hooks. But this, this Muse rig, it gets you up off the bottom pretty good. And if you really look at it really good, you're, the Muse rig, it stands up pretty good ways off the bottom. So it'll climb over anything, I believe.
I think it will. It is pretty impressive the way that's designed, and I really enjoyed the video with Steve Douglas and him done that. When they had it out there, it was a little bit more in detail than what we did on the show. And then he went through explaining how to make it. So that was really a neat deal. If somebody had could follow those directions and just make it however you want to and adjust it however it would use. And I'm kind of anxious to give it a shot. We'll see how it works out. So much bouncing that we do, back bouncing behind the boat. I did banks for that. 2-3 ounces bank sinkers back behind the boat and slowing the boat speed down with a trolling motor. But I can't see to where I would change what I'm doing there for that. But I do have some ideas in the works, and we'll see how they work out.
Yeah, I mean, I like the way, when the Steve Douglas video where he was explaining he made the short ones with not very much air in it for lakes that don't have very much structure.
Mm-hmm.
It don't need to have all that air in it and stand up off the bottom. Um, so you can have the best of both worlds. Build you some that don't have no air in them. They're gonna slide great,
Let me
and
ask
then
you a question about that, Chuck. Do you think them things scooting along the bottom will stir up fish? I mean, entice them to bite, make them mad, do something?
well, I don't think it's gonna. I mean, there's so much stuff going on down there on the bottom. As long as it looks natural, no telling what they see come across the bottom of them lakes. I don't think it's going to scare them in any way.
No, I don't think it'll
Um,
scare them, but I'm wondering if if you bump them with that thing and you're dragging the bait behind it, if that fish just jumped up there and hit it because it's mad.
yeah, I mean, that's how most of these guys that drag, they're the ones that come in with fish a lot of times during these fronts where the catfish are coming up with the mud on their bellies. They're dragging over them things, and the guys that are fishing suspended, them fish aren't touching it. They're not in the scent trail. Um, even if the bait's a foot over them, they might not have got one whiff of that bait when it went by them. With that drag rig, they're making a little bit of commotion. You're bumping some fish that are dug in. And they know some. It makes them aware. They're able to look around and see what's going on. And about a half a second later, that bait's in front of their face.
Just
Um,
boom.
Reaction bite. Mm.
Yep. Well, I know blues uh, are very aggressive feeders, and if you can do something to entice them to grab a bait as it goes by, and I would assume that if you pop him on the head, it's going to make him mad and just go on and drag it out. But yeah, I think it's a home run. I think it'll work. I'm anxious to try them, and we'll see what happens.
I mean, the way most of our boats are set up anyway, we're set up where we can try at the beginning. Throw a few out and drag, and hang a couple down and suspended a couple of cranks, few cranks off the bottom,
Mm-hmm.
and see what they're doing.
Yep.
Especially if you're not able to catch very much activity on your 2D to see if they're suspended. A lot of times if they're buried in the mud and then the front rolls in, they're down there. You just can't see them.
Right.
When they're part of that bottom and they're stuck to that bottom, and there's no separation, you're not going to be able to tell. Especially, you can go over, um, a big old place of flatheads in the wintertime when they go dormant, and it just looks like a bunch of rocks spread out. Um, they get a little bit lighter, from what I've noticed, and you can tell that they may be fish, but when they're stuck to the bottom and you're catching them with muddy bellies and stuff, dragging's probably the ticket. But I would try out. I always try out both ways. Drag and have a couple of suspended. See what happens. We tried it a couple of times up at Gunnersville, and the drag rods were just getting ripped, and we drifted right over those areas. And then, 150 foot later, when our drag rods baits come over that area, boom, we get nailed on those. Um, and when our suspended baits went through, which a couple of them were even, hitting bottom every now and then. That's how close we were to the bottom. The dragon rods were just doing something totally different. I think that just makes them look so much more natural. Especially when there's swells and stuff, and your bait's down there bouncing around on the bottom, and nothing else is moving. Like Larry said, when you're suspended, your baits are doing what your boat's doing, and they're all
Right.
bouncing around, and there's nothing else down there moving around, and the fish are just like, "What's this?"
Yeah.
And when them baits come dragging by, it looks totally natural.
Yep, I agree. I think it's a great idea. I'm hoping for some good weather here in a week or so when we all get down there. I think everybody will have a good time, and hopefully everybody will catch a lot of fish. If they find bait, I think we're in good shape.
Oh yeah, that's about all my worries is bait, which it usually is. But after you get that out of the way and it usually works out, you just feel a lot better, and it's all downhill from there.
That's right. Well, I want to thank everybody for watching the show tonight. Be sure to tune in next Monday night for the big giveaway. We was going to set up the stuff for me to work on the rod we're giving away. I do have the rear grip and front grip on it and stuff, but I've been a little under the weather today, and I just couldn't get everything done and get that set up. So we'll do that again another time. But do you have anything else tonight, Chuck?
No, that's all I got.
All right. For Chuck Davis, and I'm Lyle Stokes. Thanks for watching. See you next Monday night on Catfish Weekly.